We is live. Y'all know how we do. Shout out Angela. Came in and said, we want the immigrant. We want the tethers gone. They are a headache. Man, we gonna tap into what Trump said. We definitely gonna trap into what Trump said about black people. I'm gonna let y'all get in. We love black people. Pull that up. But salute to Angela. Tapping in. Salute, salute. And then we got some ancestry change DNA results. So Birthright Citizenship is coming up. I'm gonna show a picture of that. I'm gonna show a video of that. We're gonna do Birthright Citizenship, the ancestry DNA results. A lot of people getting their ancestry results and it's not right. We're gonna go over that and then we're gonna open up the lines, man. We're gonna have a good one tonight. Let's get
to tell you who you are because they're lying. It's not the truth. They're only giving you a likeness of who they may think that you are. In fact, they're hoarding your DNA. I watched them say that I have a little bit more of this than this nationality, and I have a little bit less. They've done this several times over the year, and I did that ancestry bullshit probably about 15 years ago. Y'all gotta realize that like they're not gonna give you the truth, especially when you realize when you know who owns these companies. In order for you to really truly find out who you are, you're gonna have to do a blood test. DNA ancestry.com, all of that shit is only for entertainment purposes, and it tells you that. They even sell the DNA kit on Amazon. You could go buy it on Amazon for $99. Now, one of y'all know anybody in any of those countries that they tell y'all from, and y'all get on here and y'all get happy about it. And in order for you to really truly feel as if you belong, what tribe are you from out there? Do you know any family out there? Does any of your family members know anybody else? No, you're not. And even if you look at the amount of people who are connected to you, which is going to be thousands of people, none of them are from Africa. I literally sat there and went through all of the people. Well, I didn't go to all 1,000 of them, but the few pages that I went through, I had people who were white in my family. I had a Mexican cousin. I'm only identifying as black. So therefore, it's not really fully giving you the full truth, y'all. Stop wasting y'all money on that shit and invest that money into something else. Buy some stocks, invest in something else. It's not telling you who you are. People don't want to accept that, yes, Black Americans right now, we have been suffering an identity crisis because our oppressors have been telling us who we are for the longest, but at the same time making us feel as if we don't belong here. Why do you think that is? Start doing your research more, man, and stop using these websites that are actually owned by people who do not give a fuck about you or your culture. Do more research.
Okay, peep dig. I'm gonna do two things that a Native American and an African can't do. I'm gonna show you where my indigenous blood comes from, and I'm gonna show you my ancestors in the 1700s. Let's go. See what that says? Southeastern Woodlands, Mississippi Choctaw land. I don't have no Siberian blood. Oh man, what we saying, man? Got none of that. Yeah, we're African. The founding population of Virginia and North Carolina, distinct from later cotton boom. Let me keep the cotton game, nigga. And the tree right here, man. Come on, man. Thomas Valentine, freedom of landholder, man. Come on, man. Mulatto didn't just mean you were black and white.
Yeah.
So it's not all.
Malcolm X,
FBA. Yeah, man. That's me and my great grandparents. How many of y'all can really say that? That's my great. That's me in red. Yeah, the little guy in red. That's my grandmother. That's holding. What are you talking about? Oh, look what it says here. She's documented Indian. Goofy. What are you talking about? Documented free. Free for forever. What are you talking about? Yeah. I bet an African can't do this. I bet an African can't. Fucking Britannian came and showed me where his native blood come from in this land. Mine showed you directly. Yes.
Why is it when that black people that have indigenous American roots, American Indian roots, say that they have them, people tell them to take a DNA test? Is that not a form of prejudice? have people like Rick Kittles who have said that their DNA test only tests less than 1% of a person's DNA. So if they're testing only less than 1% of someone's DNA, how are they tracing them back to any location at that? Mm-hmm. So the only way someone can truly know where they come from is by tracing their family back via their names and records, actually researching their family. And if anybody has definitive proof that they come from any place in the world, no matter what they look like, then that's that. There's no argument after that.
Genealogy, researching family history, is one of the most popular hobbies in this country, right up there with gardening. A nation of immigrants, we almost all come from somewhere else we wish we knew more about. So searching for our roots holds tremendous appeal. And today, there's an exciting new addition to the genealogist toolkit, genetic genealogy. It turns out that inside each one of us, within every cell of our bodies, is information about who our ancestors were, where they lived, and who we're related to today. Our DNA contains hidden stories about our past, and scientists, together with businessmen, are now offering ways to help us read them.
Who am I? Why do I look the way I do? It's like discovering American history through yourself.
The American history Vi discovered is a common one, it turns out. Geneticist Rick Kittles runs a company called African Ancestry that specializes in DNA testing for Black Americans. He says a full 1/3 of the men he tests find out they have a white male relative somewhere back in time. How do people who find this out react?
Some Black men get upset and say, look, I'm Black. Look at me, I'm Black. And, and I say, yeah, you are. But this small segment of your DNA doesn't go back to Africa, but to Europe. We are a mosaic of many different ancestors. We can go back several generations, and there are hundreds of people thousands of people who actually contributed to our DNA.
And that's the rub. This business of genetic genealogy is fraught with limitations. For one thing, it can only provide information about a tiny fraction of our ancestry. Because we get half our DNA from our mothers and half from our fathers, almost all of our DNA gets shuffled and remixed every generation, making it impossible to trace what comes from whom. There are just 2 bits of DNA that remain pure: the Y chromosome, which passes directly from father to son, and something called mitochondrial DNA, which passes unchanged from mother to child. Hank Greeley, a law professor at Stanford University, has studied this new field. He worries that people don't realize just how many ancestors they actually have.
8 generations ago, both you and I had 256 great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents.
Wait, you're saying that if you go back 8 generations, we have 256 great-great-great-grandparents?
Yes, it doubles every generation. So you've got 2 parents, you have 4 grandparents, you have 8 great-grandparents, 16 great-great-grandparents, and it adds up fast. It adds up so fast, in fact, that if you go back 20 generations, you've got over 1 million grandparents.
1,048,576 to be exact. And in each generation, DNA testing can provide information about only 2 of them.
So you could be Peruvian on your mother's 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 side, Japanese on your father's 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 side, Swedish on everything else.
And you'll never know.
And you'll never know the Swedish from the Y chromosome or the mitochondrial DNA.
Now, you've looked at several of these companies that are doing these tests.
Yes.
Do you think that they explain what you just explained to us?
No, I don't think any of them does as good a job of pointing out the limitations. But, businesses often don't go around telling you how weak their product is.
We don't oversell. I mean, we just say, look, we provide a service. If you're interested in exploring a tiny bit of your DNA and trace its ancestry, we can do that.
When you say it's a tiny little amount,
it's less than 0.1%.
And that's pretty teeny.
Hey, y'all, it's Tia. And just real quick, so about 3 or so years ago, I did a DNA little diagnostic thing to kind of just see like where I come from a little bit more and stuff like that. About a couple of months ago, they sent out an update like, hey, we updated your results. Well, everyone's results, because we have a wider database and stuff like that, right? So I went to go check it out. I didn't really take too much of the update because it was just like, okay, whatever. But then, of course, a few months later, you have the FBA movement. You have people learning about more of their roots and stuff like that. So I decided, let me go look at it again. Let me see why I wasn't feeling it. Let me see, like, just more information, right? Yeah, so while I went to it, and it was just like, okay, I'm 87% African, right? Now, at the time, I was like, okay, I know they always say that, but that's kind of like a lot. So I was like, let me just see if I have relatives or anywhere else, because I saw that before. Now I'm going to put the video down here. So I went to go see, and it was just like relatives and other places. So of course the United States was most, right? So I'm scrolling. I don't see Africa at all. So I'm like, wait, how the fuck am I 87% African, but there's no African relatives? And if you see in the video, it shows like Japan. Like it even shows fucking Japan. So, and I didn't even see like Japan in my DNA ancestry. So I was like, okay, relatives. I was like, okay, whatever. And so then I went to people that may be related to you. And I wasn't paying for the premium. And I'm scrolling, and I swear to God, y'all, like literally, if you can see me down to where it says like maybe 0.2% or whatever, all of this different people, but nobody African. So I was like, okay, well, if I'm 87% African, then let me scroll up. It may be in like the maybe 50%, maybe the just the higher 0.5 something. And I'm just scrolling, and I'm just scrolling, and I'm just scrolling, and I'm just scrolling, and not one African name came up. And I'm like, what the fuck? So is Africans not just taking 23andMe's? Like, because you know, they'd be like, oh, we already know where we come from and stuff like that. But I was like, no, because even if Africans wasn't taking any genetic testing or any DNA or anything like that, then they wouldn't be in the database at all. And so I was like, my bad, glitch. So yeah, so I was like, well, let me see. And there's plenty of videos of Africans taking 23andMe and DNA ancestry and stuff like that. So it was just like, I just sat there. I had to just sit in it because it was just like, none of this makes sense. And if they're scamming me, if this is wrong, if this is not accurate, I know they'd be like estimates, but for like, I'm like, if they fucking with me, I want my money back. And I want every dollar for every DNA genetic testing that I got for me and my family. Because how the fuck am I 87% African, but when I look at relatives, not sibling shit, relatives and percentages and stuff like that, Africa doesn't come up. Not an African person, not an African name, not even African region. Like, bitch, Japan came up before Africa. The last thing was Germany. You feel me? Like, literally, I saw Japan, bitch. Japan. I got fucking family in Japan, but not Africa. But I'm 87% African. Like that just don't make sense. And even when they updated, because it said I had 0.05 of what's the stuff called, like native ancestry, not like Native American, but it was like indigenous DNA and stuff like that. And then when it updated, it said like the Amazon and stuff like that. It was just like what. It was just kind of like all over the place type shit. You feel me? So, like, don't get me wrong. If I got family in the Amazon, if I got some ancestors that came from the Amazon, because it's all, come on, all of these rivers and streams, come on now. Like, Black American people, we are people by water. If I got some cousins in the Amazon, fuck it. But I got cousins in Japan, but not in Africa. I want my fucking money.
Facts, and more facts. This person says there are two groups of people that refuse to take DNA tests. One of them are people over in Israel, and the other are natives in this country. Yeah, those Siberian Huskies on the reservation, right? Natives in this country find out that they are Asian. Exactly. Ask yourself, why are the only demographics that are totally opposed to DNA tests the people in Israel and the people on American reservations? Because them tests reveal who you really are.
Are we ready for this party?
Guests are on their way, and food and drinks were just delivered.
Now, what about...
I don't know what the haplogroup would be for Black Indigenous Americans, but I do have one thing, and I was hesitant to say it because it kind of contradicts a lot of my past videos. But my whole point of doing this is to find the truth, no matter what it is, no matter what it looks like. So I've come to the conclusion that the Black Indigenous were the Native Americans. So scientists are saying that Siberians started to leave Siberia 30,000 years ago. And pale skin did not start to show up in Asia till about that time. And it didn't start to show up in Europe until 3,000 years ago. So this means until 30,000 to 20,000 years ago, the entire world was melanated. Scientists are also stating that the migration into the Americas may have happened in waves. Some people traveling in boats and some people crossing land masses. So because pale skin did not become prevalent until after the Siberians started to leave, that means the first migration would have been melanated skinned people. And it has now been proven that modern Native Americans were not the first in the Americas. There were the Clovis people, the pre-Clovis people, the Denisovans, but they link those people to the Native Americans. So you have the first wave of melanated Siberians moving into the Americas, and then thousands of years later, you have the other migrations. But at that point, the first migration has already set up its own society. And of course, there's going to be some mixing because they're human. But for the most part, they have set up their own nations. And then come the Europeans. The Europeans get off their boats and ships, and they see these melanated, dark-skinned indigenous people. But because Black women hold the Eve gene, there's lots of different colors of melanin. And Europeans do what Europeans do best. And they separate the light skins from the dark skin, making the darker-skinned indigenous slaves, and shipping them off to Africa, the Caribbean, Spain, Mexico, amongst other places. And then they start bringing Africans into America. So now they're doing all this shipping back and forth and different mixing and selling babies. And because of this mixing, the Native American melanated indigenous DNA begins to mutate and change. Because scientifically, genetically speaking, when you take two groups of people and you mix them for generations, that admixture can change into a whole different DNA profile. African American is its own DNA profile. And they say it takes approximately 70 years for an admixture to start changing into a different DNA profile. And we've had at least 300 years for this to happen. And this would also be why many Black Americans have that tiny percentage of Native American DNA that y'all like to, yo, that's such tiny, it's so small, it's like 0.9. But the fact of the matter is that it's still there. And it's still there because our ancestors are still here. They never left. They never left.
Man. So basically, this plays in the birthright citizenship. The same thing we've been revealing on this channel, this back to Africa theory, is actually in the DNA results, and it fits the whole scam that we're trying to, and go with immigration. So we're gonna get into Trump a little later, but let's that. Put that up on the set. Gotta deny the back to Africa theory. These some of the DNA results. So they keep throwing everybody with European and African.
Y'all check this out. So whenever Black Americans talk about being indigenous, y'all love bringing up DNA testing as if the back of the DNA test kit doesn't say for entertainment purposes only. But before we get into all that, let's go ahead and see what one of these supposedly Native Americans have to say about Black Americans. Y'all watch this. So you believe Black Americans are not Indians? Is that your
Why would
theory?
they be Indians?
Well, first, I was on your panel already. Didn't you just say you already had Black Indians in your family? Didn't you make that claim?
They're African and Native American. That's
Okay.
what a Black Indian is.
You said that's what a what is?
That's what a Black Indian is. It's a African and Native American mix.
And Brody don't understand. He fell right into the trap because just like how he said a Black Indian is a Native American mixed with an African, that's the same exact thing a Black American is. A Black American is not a one set group of people. It's a mix of people. The Atlantic slave trade brought over only 2% of Africans from Africa to North America. And then we was mixed in with the population that was already here, which means we're majority Indian. If you guys read any old records from European sailors when they came to America in the 1500s or 1492, they often described the people in North America as very dark-skinned people with wide chests, agile bodies, and very athletic. Who that remind you of? And these are old records and descriptions before the booming of the Atlantic slave trade. This is how they described the natives or the Indians on this landmass we call America. Now, going back to your comment, the reason why DNA testing is very biased towards Black Americans is that America itself doesn't have a large reference group. For some strange reason, a lot of Native Americans will not get DNA testing so we can actually have a sample reference group. Now, I don't know why that is, and I don't know who's hiding what, but it ain't our fault that, whenever we take a DNA test, America's not popping up. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Instead, they're replacing Africa with America whenever we get our results back. And on top of that, the mitochondrial DNA testing or the haplogroup testing only gets one side of your history or your lineage. So it's your mother's mother, 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 mother. It's never your mother's father. Or it's your father's father, 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 never your father's mother. So there's like thousands of people that's missing for the mitochondrial DNA testing that they're not taking account for. And on top of that, like I mentioned, the reference groups is very small compared to Africa, Asia, and Europe.
Ancestry showed 97% European and 2% Asian.
I'm a black girl. I am not a Jewish white lady. I'm black. My parents were black.
She contacted Ancestry with questions, but says a rep told her the results are accurate.
These DNA tests for ethnicity are entertainment value only.
William Gilliland is a biology professor at DePaul. He says DNA kits can be great for connecting family members and finding relatives, but the science for ethnicity testing isn't as concrete.
There's nothing that confident for ethnicity. There's no diagnostic nucleotide. You can say this person is from Europe, this person's from Africa.
She was in an auditorium like 75,000 people or something, and she announced that she just had the test and that she was Zulu. So it broke on CNN. I was sitting in my living room minding my own business and said, Oprah Winfrey's a Zulu. So I called Rick Kittles and I said, Rick, did you tell Oprah she was a Zulu? He goes, no, man, she made that up herself. It's a true story. It's a true story. I would lie to make you laugh, but I'm telling you a true story. So I said, Rick, are you in your lab? He said, yeah. I said, is anybody there? He said, no. I said, when the results come in, make her Zulu, man. You know? I said, you back there making it up anyway. I said, you back there making it up anyway.
I'm here with you because my viewers wanted me to do a DNA analysis review with you.
Really?
Yeah, because there's been an update. Mine's been updated. So see, mine is 50, or it's actually 52.6 Native American.
Yeah.
But then, check it out, I'm 16% Mongolian.
You from your dad's side.
You'll see. Yeah, so that's my composition. Then I got to go to DNA relatives. And this is where they'll have yours at. So did you think that about me? That I got to be Mongolian or something?
No, I didn't think it'd be that.
So here's yours. It's 51.71% DNA shared. So I have more of your DNA than my dad's. Oh, here we go. Our ancestry composition. So here's you and me. So like I'm 82.6 Native American and you're 89.2. So but it says you're 57.2% Native American and you're 16.3% Mongolian.
Oh.
You have the Mongolian ancestry.
Mongolian, is that with Asian?
Yeah, it's over up in the Himalayan mountains.
Oh.
Then again, I think that's what. So yours would probably go up if it's 13.5, which would make you about 70%, 71% Native. But then you got the European ancestry, which is the French 4%. And so you don't have the British and Irish, which means that comes from my dad. Then you got the 1.6% Pakistani.
Oh.
You're a Pakistani Indian. Look at here, even Italian, 1.6% Italian.
Neanderthal.
Yeah, it says Annabelle has more Neanderthal variants than 88% other people. Yo, Neanderthal. Any thoughts about that?
I don't know, gosh. I wonder where that I get that from my parents or my grandparents.
Which one?
That Italian.
So your DNA tells the story of who you are and how you're connected to populations around the world. Trace your heritage through centuries and uncover clues about where your ancestors live and when. So I got your French and German from 3 to 5 generations ago.
Oh, Italian.
Hit that like button in the
so that was like
chat.
the most recent.
Yeah.
We'll open up the chat.
The 5 to 8 generations ago, that's where you got the Italian. It's like all of these were like a long time ago. Like that's what your DNA looks like. Like if I had yours, if you still had it on your new phone, I could look at your traits. Like I see some of my traits from my DNA is saying that I'm less likely to be able to match a musical pitch. So I can't sing. I'm likely to smell asparagus and odor detection. Like I have that when I'm at home. Like you don't have that, huh? Like I remember where we smelled that stuff in here and you couldn't smell it. I don't know what you're talking about. But like when I got the gas on at home and nobody in the household smells it except for me. Yeah, it just has all these things like likely little freckling freckles. And well, you have any thoughts about it?
No, I didn't know that we had a lot of other nationalities in us.
So you're 100% Red Lake, but you're not 100% Native American. Not 100% Ojibwe. I debunked your lies to me.
Ancestry tests are fake and they rely on low ethnic self-esteem, and I would love for my community to stop getting them. And I really don't mean that to sound harsh, because they totally have created a problem, right, which is separating us from the original place that we came from, to sell us a solution such that they could actually tell us where exactly we came from. But for a variety of reasons, that's not real. But what is real is that you are giving away your DNA by choice to a privately held company that will absolutely sell it. And mind you, I am not a biologist, a scientist, a geneticist, but just at its base value, if me and a sibling were to take a DNA test, right, we would get two different results. The fact that that can exist and we could have the same parents should tell you that that is not real. And even if it was real, what does it truly mean to be 17% from one place, 15% from another place, and 20% from another? And then I also think it relies on like European understandings of like ethnic and like racial purity, because nobody is like 100% anything. And like any tribe or group of people that we know exists in a very particular context, right? Like the same, what you know as a particular tribe right now did not have the same genetic makeup that they did 4,000 years ago, nor did they probably exist 4,000 years ago for the vast majority of them. It also relies on like this myth that human beings stayed isolated from one another, right? And that they all stayed in kind of like their separate enclaves instead of mixing with other groups of people through trade, travel, marriage, etc.
So we got two different on Trump. We got two Trump. We're going to play Trump in a minute. We're going to get to Trump. We're going to get to that Trump speech. I want to know what y'all think about Trump. Let me get that ready.
It's just,
and we're going to open up the chat.
Not true of human history. It's just not. So it's like, where are you even getting this comparative data set to say any one person is like 100% British or 100% Igbo or something like that? And it really hurts my feelings so much that like, I'm African American, right? And you get it from everywhere, right? That quote unquote African Americans don't know where they come from. And we do. And the fact that they kind of like indoctrinate us with this, right? That what we are right now is not enough, and that we need to go back to a place that they stole us from only by using their means. That is like categorically evil. And I promise you, they are not using that DNA for your best good. And I'll also say, if you're actually curious about where you come from, because there's nothing wrong with that, what I would suggest doing instead is maybe asking somebody from the continent, what group of people do I look the most like? Because I really think that's probably what people are hinting at anyway with these DNA tests, right?
Yes, so any Black person who is trying to figure out their lineage, where they come from when it comes to being a Native and Indigenous Black American specifically, there's a way to search up what tribe you come from based on your last name. So I actually found this on TikTok, and I'm sure you can look it up on TikTok, or you can look up, they have books on it, Google it, whatever the case may be. But for me, my last name is Cooper. I'm Ani Cooper. My dad's side is from Georgia. So I was able to figure out where in the South, in Georgia, where my family is from, based on our last name, based on slavery and colonization and all that thing. We can find out your last name and what tribe you're associated with. So my family knows that we come from the Cherokee tribe, so I already knew this. But when I searched up the last name Cooper and that specific region of Georgia where my family is from, it says the Cherokee tribe. So look it up. You might find something new. It might help you out, but it's cool.
All right. So now we finna get the
Fox 32 special report. DNA kits called into question. They are the kind advertised on TV claiming to trace your ancestry.
All right, y'all. We're gonna get the Trump. We're gonna get the Trump. We're gonna get the Trump with birthright citizenship. I want to know what y'all think about this. And the speech where he talked about him, you know, Black people love him. I want to know what y'all think about that in the comment section. Let's get it. Make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe and push me on the algorithm. I greatly appreciate that. Let's get it. We dug it right to where he finna start going up.
But you're right. Remember with eggs where I had my first news conference, 2 days went by and I had a news conference, right? Unlike Biden, 2 years go by, he still did that. Remember, he'd walk off the stage. He's finished with his, sir, you're finished with your speech. Now what? You're finished. What? And then he'd walk into a wall. what he did, and it wasn't him, it was some really smart, radical left lunatics. What they did to our country, we can never forget. We can never forget. But you remember the first eggs? We remember the first 3 days. I just got there. Sure, what? These people, 2 of them are there, right there. Look at all those cameras you got. You got a lot of television going. 2 of them were there. And I'm talking about, yes, I look forward to getting involved and doing great things. What about eggs? Eggs are down. They go, eggs. They said, the price of eggs is quadrupled. I said, oh, I didn't know that. Tell me about it. It's gone up like 4 or 5 times. Remember eggs right at the beginning. He's right when he says eggs. It went up like 4 times. It was like crazy. And they said, sir, don't buy. They came into the Oval Office, sir. You know, we have an Easter egg hunt. It's like a thing for 150 years at the White House. Beautiful. They said, sir, we're going to buy plastic eggs this year. Plastic eggs. We don't have, enough eggs to go around for that. I said, you're going to buy regular eggs. And by the time Easter comes, we're going to have so many eggs, you're not going to know what to do. You're not buying plastic. And we didn't. And Brooke Rollins, our Secretary of Agriculture, did an incredible job. And eggs dropped like a rock. And we ended up buying a lot of eggs for a lot of. But the price of eggs is down now 80% since March. Think of that. And we have 2 price charts. Do you remember the last time I pointed to a chart? My all-time, I don't care what these charts say. My all-time favorite chart was the chart I had in Butler. I said, let's look at the chart. Bing, bing. I don't care how good that chart looks. It's shit by comparison to the one in Butler. It's nothing. I like the Butler chart. Remember, that was on how great employment was and all this, but I like it for other reasons. Look at that chart. It's good, but now I talk about the Butler chart, I don't even want to look at it. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, we
But look,
froze up.
Biden price increases and Trump price increases. Look at Biden. Up 37, 24%, 22, 21, 30.7, 30.7 again, 10.4%, 49.
Oh, my bad. If y'all can hear me. They crashed. Yeah, we got technical difficulties right now. I don't know if y'all can hear me. I'm gonna pause the video real quick. Oh, y'all, we may have to jump back on. We'll jump back on. I don't know if it's mine. We gonna jump on. We're gonna jump off and jump back on. So y'all look out.
%. Trump, the president.
We gonna jump off and jump back on. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we got to close it. Yeah, we got technical difficulties, man.